Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Messages. I'm Candace Smith, and it's Monday again, so welcome. Seems like this day comes around every week. Um, I hope everyone's doing great today. We lost an hour, so with the springtime change, so there's a lot of different adjustments that go on, and then also the allergy pollen thing was I don't know if anyone else experienced that, but it's pretty intense. And, you know, getting better, but it's like you want this warmer weather to come in, and then it comes with other things that you may not be as excited about. But today's message, I'm like trying to think. It's always as much of a surprise to me as it is you. So today, the message is about letting go. And this can be something that is difficult to do in so many ways or so many settings. So one of the things that, excuse me, I know it's like the little pollen stuff. And I started to do local honey every day. So we'll see how that works. Worked last year. Um, this is something that for a lot of people, thinking about anything that you want to go your way or control or have a certain outcome for, that it can be really stressful when you're not seeing those outcomes happen, or something that you wanted to get done today is not done, and even thinking about the past. So kind of taking it in those like phases or places where you think about letting go of the past. And this can be difficult for a lot of reasons. It was a very painful past, or embarrassing, or hurt, and you still carry those feelings even though you're in a different place today. You could also have this scenario where you really loved your past and maybe things were amazing, and it's kind of the opposite where you don't feel that way today, and so you're sort of wondering, why can't I still be there? How can I go back and live that life and have those things occur? So it's something that, first of all, that you would need to recognize that you are still connected to the past. The idea, of course, for all of this is in letting go, is that we're able to live in the present moment. So when you think about the past and it's something that you don't like, and there's certainly a myriad of things that I'm, not excited about, or really feel like I wasn't in my highest conduct in the past, and that's probably putting it very lightly. So when you have those feelings come up for you, and they're just kind of playing on that reel of, over and over, and wishing it would have had a different outcome, or that you could have been a different person or had a different experience, it can be even more difficult, of course, when you feel like you're comparing yourself to someone else and feeling like, why did they get this and I didn't? Or how come I wasn't in this place and, and they were? So really understanding that you have a value in exactly the place that you were and where you're supposed to be is important. You can also really allow yourself to forgive that person in the past, and to tell them, like if the two of you met, like yourself now and then yourself then, like if the two of you met, it's like, how would you want, you in the past to feel like if you met yourself now? Would you want the present you to say, man, you really messed up. That really sucks. I can't believe this happened. That would probably make past you feel bad. So the best way to handle this is to just kind of give that past person a hug and say, I forgive you, and I'm really proud of you for what you survived, for what you went through, and how much stronger you are and where you are now. Oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. Okay, sorry. People are like, yes, and we're done with this coughing portion. And then I learned recently, like your hand has like a direct connection to your heart. So it's always kind of, or maybe I forgot it. Hopefully people aren't like, you just learned this, and it's like, no, I forgot it, and I've just remembered it or relearned it. but you can put your hand over your heart and say, I love you. And that kind of gives it that infinite sort of connection. And your hand already has that connection to your heart, but you kind of close it in that circle and you put it over your heart, and just say, I love you. And really feel like you have that understanding for that person in the past and who they were, and not having to live in the past, right? Because it does take over your current environment and what you might be able to enjoy about where you are now. So that's kind of the past portion. And then you also have the present. So you might go to sleep with this laundry list of things in your head, or throughout the day you feel like you're not getting it all done. There's things that you should have done, and it can really take away from the things that you are actually doing or you could actually be enjoying. So it's helpful if you can find a way to, oh my gosh, this is going to be so bad today. Um, it's helpful if you can find a way, again, to sort of allow yourself to know that everything that you can get done is what you're going to be able to do. So, if you feel like you should have done more than, I should have gotten to this, I should have called this person, I should have gone here, and this is still, those things are still going to be there. They're not going to change if you, for the most part, I think, unless it's like your job, but, they're still going to be on that list. And in some ways, it can make us feel like we have something to do. Um, I was thinking about it the other day, and it's like, what if you didn't have like a to-do list? What if you didn't have like, I mean, I do goals and intentions, but what if you didn't have this to-do list and these goals ahead of you that that you would feel like you have something to actively do? And it can be a strange feeling to think that if you just pictured for a moment, you don't have a to-do list and you don't have these like, kind of goals that you're working towards actively, and what would it be like to just sit and look around you and check in with your five senses and hear people speaking, you know, to be able to actually have a conversation without something running in the background, to go on a walk and just take in what that looks like. And maybe there's a time that you can tell yourself, like, okay, for this 5 minutes, I'm pretending like I don't have this to do list. What does that feel like? And really, because it would have to happen in increments, it can be so um, uncomfortable for us to feel like there's nothing to do, because in a lot of ways it makes us feel like we have value. It makes us feel productive. It makes us feel like we're making a difference. But the truth is, when something happens to us, like if we are hurt or if we're sick or if something, I can't think of other circumstances would be, but or you're actually like in bed or you can't do something, or you're you're in bed, things still get done, things still happen. The only thing is that the universe has told you you need to slow down. So even when something does happen and you're not able to get to all the things that you feel like you want to, it's really just usually a sign or information saying you've got to stop and slow down. So you have the choice to do that on your own terms for the most part, or you may have other things that happen in order to create that environment where you can slow down. So try and start with like 1 minute and just, sit with that 1 minute. A lot of information is usually out there for us and running in the background. So when we constantly stay busy, trying to grip on to what it is we want to get done, thinking that we know the outcome, it can really override a lot of the information that's there for us. And it's interesting because like you would have those questions sort of circling your head, and if you can take the time to stop and let the answers come in, it would create more of that balance than an imbalance. And then the third part is the future, right? Everyone wants to have a a tight grip on what's going to happen. Am I going to school, going to have more kids? What's going to happen to my parents, my partner, my friends? Where will I be with my career? Where am I going to live? And you set these goals or intentions about what that looks like. And when you have such a tight grip on those outcomes, it can be very stressful to feel like you're the only person that can make that happen. So there is a way to, give sort of, again, whatever that is for you, God, source, spirit, universe, to give them an allowance to sort of create that path for you and allow things to work out in the way they're meant to be. And you do have the ability, I call it co-create, but you do have the ability to co-create your future, but only to a certain extent that the best outcome is going to be there for you. So if it's not this school, this car, this person, this animal, this person, those pictures that you have in your head of what that should look like, when things don't turn out the way that you expect them to, it can feel stressful and create that grip where, again, it's going to take away from your presence. It's going to take away from your awareness of your surroundings and create a completely different experience for you and for your family. So, you know, the it's so difficult when you think that you have to manage what's so far down the road. So yes, you do have a hand in asking for what you want and taking action if you want to be healthier, if you want to, um, there's something that you want to do with your home or travel or whatever those things are that you're wanting to do. You can still have those ideas and ask for those experiences to occur, but when they don't, there needs to be the allowance for this is the best thing for me. And there always has to be deconstruction before there is construction. And I have these magnet tiles for my kids, and they build these buildings, and of course they knock them down, but sometimes they fall down on their own, and they just used to give me the space. And I've just taught them that when it falls down, like, what's next? And they said something's better. So the whole idea and attitude around seeing something fall down in front of you that you anticipated being there in exactly the way that you pictured and the way that you wanted it may not happen. And when it doesn't, there are two things that can happen, two realities that you can choose. And one is this is the worst thing ever, and the other one is something better is right behind it. And all that you have to really do is check in with your feelings. I say that like it's easy, and it can be once you practice. But what feels better? Saying that this is terrible and I can't believe it, and what am I going to do? Or this is awesome. If something is better than I imagined it, then there's then that's got to be a good thing, right? If you're like planned a trip to the beach and it gets canceled, but something happens and you get a trip to Hawaii, you're like, wow, I had no idea. But that's sort of the preface of all of this, is like you don't have any idea what's out there for you that's so much better than you pictured. So allowing the energy to unfold in a way that helps you understand that what you're seeing in your perception as, oh crap, this does not look good and this is not good, doesn't mean that it's not good. It just means that it's not the way that you turned out. So letting go of that control of what that future looks like to a certain extent. And sometimes we do need to push through. We do need to try harder. And there's a way that, hey, this didn't work out. Let me find this way. But again, checking in with your feelings. How does this experience feel when I think about it this way? And how does this experience feel when I think about it in a way that says, all right, this is not really what I wanted or expected, but I know that it's leading to something that's better than I expected. Because truthfully, that's what's available to all of us, and that's what's meant to happen in our lives. So the idea is that you could be living, like, in one day, you could be living on, in a trying to grip on to the past or feel, guilty about something, gripping on to today, like, I wish I would have gotten these things done. I can't believe I didn't. And, then thinking about the future, how am I going to live here, pay for this, be with this person? It takes away from your present moment in so many ways, and even just having one of them, let alone all three. So just try to create an awareness. Give yourself a little bit of space. Again, if you can quiet for 1 minute, doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to have special music or a special place. You can set the intention for that 1 minute that you'd like to be able to let go of the things that are keeping you from enjoying the beauty that is around you. And it doesn't have to be literal, or what people expect if the word beauty means. I mean that in a way that you can enjoy your environment for the life that you're living and for the people that you're meant to impact and the way that you're unique in your relationships with the people in your life. So when you have this tight grip on all of these things, trying to control it, trying not to think about this, you're taking away from the impact that you can have on people's lives and enjoying the interactions that you're having also. So I hope this helps. I hope you guys have a great week. Sorry about so much, allergy, whatever you call it. But yeah, hopefully it'll be different next week. Don't work this week, work your week, and I will see you guys next week.